Paso author, storyteller, and collector of local legends and history, Miss Heather Shade. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning.
Welcome. Is this your first time on the morning show?
Actually, it's not. I was on a few years back.
All
back,
right.
Yeah, back when I was doing the whole book
Okay.
tour thing. Yeah.
Welcome back.
So, thank you. It's
Everyone
been a
has
while.
been excited for today.
I'm
Yes.
excited too.
Everybody has been waiting. Let's talk about ghost
Yes,
stories.
it is
and
time.
Things like that.
Well,
It's the perfect time.
I am excited because you are an authority on El Paso ghost stories, and I have so many questions.
I have so many questions
Yeah.
too. But Heather, tell us
Yes.
a little bit about Lost El Paso Paranormal.
Well, Lost El Paso Paranormal is a company that my husband and I started in 2017. We've had about 13 years worth of experience of doing this stuff. We started off working with Henry Flores. He's kind of like the paranormal godfather, of El Paso. He's the guy. So we started off our career with a very great start working with him. And we started our own thing in 2017. We do local ghost tours, but they are very history based. We are collectors of stories
Right.
and folklore and people's experiences, and that is what we are sharing with you. We're taking you directly to the source and telling you what El Pasoans, deal with in the spirit world.
Well, and El Paso, it's not just a city that popped up in the 80s or
Right.
the 1970s. Like, this city has been here for a while,
Right.
so it probably has collected quite a few ghost stories.
Right. And then you've got layers and layers of ghost stories because we've got our layers and layers of our history.
Right.
So, I mean, you could talk about that just as an example in downtown. Everything in downtown is built atop former cemetery and burial land.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right. So our earliest cemeteries in El Paso were downtown. A lot of people don't
Where
know
people
that.
work now, and
Exactly,
Wow.
right. Your
Think I've done it
libraries on top
downtown.
of an old cemetery, all that stuff. So that's what I mean by layers of history, and that brings the layers of paranormal.
Heather's a really good storyteller. I've done like the downtown one, and
Yes.
I've done the Concordia one.
Right, yes. I remember when you guys came on Concordia.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
I can imagine this is like a really busy time of year.
Oh, yes, we are busy in the spirit world and in the ghost tour world. Yeah. I don't know if it's all the activity of the humans coming around and being curious, and the ghosts are coming out too.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I have a question about
Yes.
Concordia. Does El Paso have a history of like Old West gunslingers and stuff?
Oh, yes, and the most infamous gunslinger is in that cemetery.
And who was that?
That was John Wesley Hardin himself. He is one bad hombre, as they would say.
Wow.
Yeah, he was, known for killing more men than Jesse James and Billy the Kid combined. That's, one of the taglines that they say about him.
That's crazy.
Right. So he's actually, believe it or not, he actually was working as a lawyer in downtown El Paso when he moved here after getting out of prison for multiple murders.
Wow.
Yeah. Good old El Paso history.
So
right.
he ended up, he's buried in Concordia.
Yes, he is. He's buried in Concordia. He himself met his untimely end in downtown El Paso.
Was it a gunfight?
He was shot. It wasn't much of a gunfight. He was shot in the back. Yeah. But the reason why, the person who shot him stated they did it that way is because, he was a very talented gunsmith. Are you going to want to go up against him? Probably
I guess,
not.
Yeah, not somebody
You
that's
don't
good
want
at
to
it.
challenge that.
Right. So he got shot in the back. That's how he went out. But, he is there in Concordia. And a lot of people don't know this, but he had a girlfriend at the time.
Ooh.
And his girlfriend, her husband had passed away shortly before they started dating.
Oh.
And she buried her husband right next to John Wesley Hardin.
Her two mans.
Yeah. So for us that work in Concordia, we do, we pick up on some weird energies between those two graves.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, so there's a lot of hidden history like that influences our experience of the paranormal and our folklore, and it's real history that ties into that.
Mhm.
It's very cool.
That's interesting. There's also a lot of ghost tours from other ghost tour people, but they do them like also at schools.
Right.
But one that you never see, Nico, is a ghost tour at El Paso High.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Why do they never do ghost tours at El Paso High?
We've been told, in the past that one of the prevailing reasons would be, not wanting to scare the students, not wanting to upset or rile up the students.
That makes sense to me. That's what I would figure. Like, school
Right.
administrators probably don't want the bad publicity of, like, not bad publicity, but probably don't want to encourage that kind of label on themselves.
And then kids running around ghost hunting when they're supposed to be in class, or
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure that would be
How do people like at Isleta get away with it though? Like Isleta High School does ghost tours.
It depends on the school, and you
It's
know,
a different district.
That's
It's YISD, right?
That's a good point, Mika.
But I mean, I also have to wonder if, you know, that's the reason they give, but what if the real reason is that when people start going in there and doing that, that might cause them problems.
Oh yeah, that is a
That
good
might
point.
stir things up in there.
Oh,
And-
you're saying like that might rile some energies in the school and not make it good for them.
Right, and then they have to
Mhm.
deal, the teachers are the ones that have to deal with that.
That's a good point.
You know, so, you know what I mean? They're not going to say that publicly, like, we don't want to rile up our ghosts, because that'd be kind of crazy.
How
But-
strongly do you believe that El Paso High does have some ghosts?
Well, for myself,
Yeah.
my sister had an experience there.
Really?
Which I like to go in and investigate a place before I make that determination, because I like to go in and kind of feel the energy out myself. I'm not a sensitive, but I do like to just kind of go in there and feel what the vibe
Get
is,
the vibes.
see
Yeah.
what people are
Uh-huh.
I do the same
experiencing.
thing at clubs, so.
Yeah, with some paranormal results, I'm
Yeah.
sure at times as well, right?
Yeah.
Some very unsettling paranormal.
Well, leaving by myself
activity.
is the unsettling part.
But yeah, so I'm not sure. Myself personally, I'm not sure if I could make that determination. But my sister, who is an extremely skeptic person, did have an experience in there, and so that kind of made me go, whoa. She
Ooh.
actually experienced the crying girl
Oh,
that they
cool.
report.
That's
Are you
terrifying.
familiar with that one, Joanna?
Which one's the crying girl?
In El Paso High, you know, the prevalent ghost story is that there was a girl that either jumped or fell from their balcony.
Ooh, I see. Okay,
okay.
so I think I know what you're talking about because I've seen pictures where they show like a ghostly
Then
figure.
they're like, it's the ghost girl.
It's
Yeah.
the ghost girl. The photo is actually from a class photo that is hanging in their lobby. And they claim that that image of that girl was not originally in there, and it faded into the photograph over time.
Spooky.
And if you
Like,
guys
I'm gonna
go
get this
and
picture.
look at the photo, you can Google it. It's very easy
Right,
to find.
right.
But if you look at it, she does look strange because everybody else in the photo is very crisp and clear. You can see all the detail of their
Uh-huh.
clothing and everything, and she's just like a blur with long dark hair.
Ah!
So yeah, that's part of it. But my sister, you know, she was a substitute teacher, and she was staying after class one day late.
Right.
She's in there all alone upstairs, and she heard someone crying, a girl crying in the hall.
Oh my god.
And I said my sister's very skeptical, so she's like, it's a kid
Right.
pranking me.
You would think it's a student.
Obviously, and you're a substitute teacher, so
Right.
she was used to that kind of thing. So she's like, oh, the kids are
Right.
pranking me.
Uh-huh.
So she steps outside and she doesn't see anyone. But then now she hears it down the hall a little bit to her right, around the corner. So she's like, well, you know what? I'm not going to let these kids scare me. I'm going
Right.
to scare them. So she creeped down to the corner with the intention of turning that corner and yelling and scaring whoever was around there, making these crying
Uh-huh.
noises, because she's still hearing it. So she gets to the corner and she turns the corner,
No way.
and there was no one there.
Nobody's there. Ah!
So, and like I said, my sister did not believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
You know,
my
she was a
heart would
very skeptical
sink.
person. But she said, that was it for me. I gathered up my stuff and went ahead and left. You know.
I wonder if they're like, we just keep getting like teachers coming and going.
Yeah, you know, that could be another reason why you don't want to advertise that we have the most haunted
Sure,
school
yeah,
in
yeah.
town.
Okay, yeah,
You know,
I
so there
get
could
it.
be a couple of reasons behind that.
There's probably a lot of reasons.
Wait, so
Right.
Joanna, like, does that, because Joanna loves horror movies,
Mhm.
and does
Me
that
too.
not make you more fearful of these things? The fact that you kind
No, it
of,
just makes me more curious.
Right.
Like, what are they hiding?
Yeah.
okay. See, I don't really,
You
believe
don't
it too
really-
much. I'm a skeptical person in general.
Uh-huh.
But hearing these things, that makes me more terrified.
It just, you're like, you know what? I'm not even gonna mess with that.
Yeah,
Right.
just not even gonna mess with that.
Whereas
Today.
I'm like, what's
Let's
going on over
go.
there?
Grab the flashlight.
Yeah.
Let's go. And I,
Exactly.
we're not even getting into the whole issue of the tunnels under the school. That's a whole
Oh,
other.
there's tunnels. Did you know that?
Yes.
Anissa?
Yes, I did know that part.
When I was in choir, we would do like competitions, and they were always at El Paso High for some weird reason.
Oh,
And they would put us like in the basement to
Yeah.
prepare, and then we would go through the tunnels
yeah.
to get to the auditorium.
And there's a lot of stories about down there, because
It does look kind of crazy, like
Yeah.
when you're on that stage looking to the audience like it was empty because it was
Mm-hmm.
just judges for the competitions, but it looks really creepy just
what the
looking.
heck?
What was
A bird just flew into your window.
that? Shut up!
Yeah, a bird just flew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
They're talking about us. The spirits know.
That's not a good sign, is it?
That was kind of weird, right?
That was weird.
It didn't die. I
No,
think it flew off.
flew off. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
it did fly off.
So that's a good sign.
So I
These
guess
windows are
that's
not that clean, though. I mean, if they were like super transparent, I'd understand that the bird got
No,
confused.
that was a suicidal bird.
The bird had a death wish. All right.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Remind me to get this audio to put into the podcast
Yeah,
for later.
definitely.
As we're talking about horror movies and stuff like
Right.
that, yes.
So where can people find more information about your tours and kind of a schedule of events and the things you're doing?
The easiest way to find our schedules to just go straight to our website is lostelpaso.com. Easy to remember. But of course, you guys can also find us across all the social medias. You know, we're on the
Very active on Facebook.
Yes, we do a
Love
lot
it.
of stuff on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on all the social medias. You can always find us there as well. And if you ever have a question about our tours or just question in general about setting something up or something paranormal, you can always call us as well.
Awesome.
I'm very interested in the Concordia tour because I'm reading this whole John Harden thing. I would love to see his grave. And I wonder if there's any like family members still left in El Paso. Are there any Hardens out there?
He actually, as far as I know, didn't have any family members here because he was not from El Paso originally. He did have a cousin that lived here though, who was also a gunslinger. So
Interesting.
it was like rent in the family or something, I guess.
Yeah.
Family occupation.
Well, it seems like he's from a whole a family of famous people.
Right. Yes. Hmm.
Upcoming ghost tours for this month.
Yes.
Is space still available for some of them?
Yes, we do. We are starting to sell out quick. The closer we get to Halloween, the faster they go. But right now, you do still have a chance to grab tickets to what we have going on. Tonight, we're doing one of my favorite things. I only do it once per year.
Ooh.
It is Vampires Night.
Alright.
Joanna just finished the whole Twilight series.
I did. Thank you, Nika.
Well, tonight what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be talking about vampire history in the United States,
Oh, all right.
which is a real thing.
Oh,
The Great
people-
Vampire Panic in New England in the 1800s, the
Yeah.
vampire burials
Oh.
up and down the East Coast.
are there any
Mercy
tales
Brown.
of like Southern vampires? Like,
There actually are, and
Okay.
there's even an El Paso vampire story. But I can't share that on here.
You have to go to the tour.
Yeah.
Now, Heather dresses up amazing for these tours.
Thank you.
Do people dress up too?
We always invite people. You're more than welcome
Okay,
to come
cool to
in
know.
costume. And on Vampires Night, we encourage it.
Highly.
Because you
encouraged.
guys don't know how amazing it looks to have a whole gang of vampires
Yeah.
walking through downtown El Paso for a couple of hours. It's
And
amazing.
It's perfect.
it's like what we do in the shadows.
Right. So that'll be happening tonight. Keep an eye out for us. You'll see our vampire crew out there cruising the streets talking about cemeteries and vampire stuff.
Amazing. What's the website again?
It is lostelpaso.com. And we got lots of other great stuff coming up.
Year round. You guys do
Yeah,
them
we do them
year-round.
year round, but we got lots of special stuff this month that is only for October. So you want to catch some of those special things like our trick or treat tour or our vampires tour. That's
Awesome.
only this month. But you
Sweet.
can find all that info on our website.
Amazing. Heather, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
Yeah,
you.
today.
thank you very
for
much.
We have
having
to
me.
do this more often.
Yes, anytime you guys want a dose of weird history or spooky stuff, you got my number. Call
Heather's
me
our
up.
girl for
Yes,
this.
I'm
Thank you
there.
so much. Right now,
Thank you
let's
for having
get
me.
some contestants for our clip quiz for Rock Resurrection Tour tickets with meet and greet with Theory of a Dead Man. Let's get caller number 8.